Okay, so we want to make stands for our models. The first thing you're going to do, flip it around the backside. Now you're going to want to create a sketch. Click back, get a perfect view, create sketch, and then you'll click on the backside of one of your models. Now you're going to hit P for project, 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 okay. Okay, so now we have the perimeter of all three of the models or examples that we're going to have. So now what you're going to do is give yourself a little bit of a tolerance for 3D printing, because if you butt it up against the circle perfect exact size, it's probably not going to fit. So we'll give it a little bit of a tolerance. We'll double click the outside line, hit O for offset. 0.1 is plenty for most printers. Enter, because 0.1 is going to have 0.1 all the way around. So now that's going to give you a tiny gap around the edge of the model. That tiny gap is going to help you for the tolerance. So now what we can do is double click the outer perimeter, offset it again, O for offset. I usually make these 5 millimeters thick, so 5, enter. You can see it's going all the way around. We're going to need to kill it at some point. So if we want to have this perfect symmetrical, we can click L for line, find the dead center of the model. This is a circle, so it's easy to find. You can just hover over this and it'll make like a locking boundary right here. So you can come down to the center, then we can click. We'll just do 5 millimeters, enter. I usually make these about 100 millimeters in total length, so we'll do L for line. Make sure it's a perfect 90 degrees, that way it's flat, or 0 degrees. We'll go 50 millimeters out to the right. L for line. Then we can come straight up right there. The reason I come past, because if you go to the line, it's not going to lock at a 90-degree angle. It's just going to follow the curve. Okay, so now that's a basic stand right here, and we could mirror this over to the other side. You just need a vertical line, which we have this one. So now we can mirror. We want to mirror these two lines. The mirror line is the vertical line. Okay, so now we have the basic shape of the stand right here. If that's all you want, that's fine. All you got to do is finish sketch, click all three parts of the model, of the stand, hit E for extrude, drag it out. This light is 40 millimeters. Notice that it's going negative 33 because we're pushing it backwards. So minus 40. Make sure this says new body. If it says join, it's going to connect. So new body, okay. Now you can see there's a tiny gap in between the model and the stand. Bring it around front, click front, and there you have a stand for the circle. Let's say you want to make it a little bit more fancy than that. You can put fillets. Let's see, click on the edge, shift click the other edge, and hit F for fillet. You can drag this arrow, or you can type in how much fillet you want. 10, enter. And now you have a little bit more character to your stand. It's not so basic. Okay, back to the other stands. Edit sketch to the triangle stand. Same concept. Double click the outer perimeter. We're going to need a gap because you don't want it to be the exact size fit. O for offset, 0.1, enter. Now you have that tiny little buffer, that little gap right there. Double click the outer perimeter again. If you double click, the offset line, it's not going to work. It will not offset from an offset line. So double click the perimeter, O for offset, will come 5 millimeters again, enter. So now you have this all the way around. L for line, and then we'll bring it out 50 millimeters again, enter. L for line. Let's just make a triangle stand out of this. If you just hover and drag, you can find the center. Let's say we want it about right there. And now we can do the same thing. We can mirror, but we need a vertical line to mirror from. So L, it doesn't matter where it is as long as it's in the center. So we'll just make a line right here. Then we can do the mirror again. Mirror, we want to mirror this line and this line. And we want to mirror it from the center vertical line. Okay, so now you have your stand right here. Let's just say you want to make it a little more fancy. Well, let me show you how it's going to look first. So here, here, here. Hold shift to select more parts. So click one, hold shift, click, click, and that's going to be your stand. E for extrude, drag it out, -40, because that's how thick my model is. New body, okay. So now you have a basic, regular old stand. You want to add character to this. Let's go back to the sketch. Right click, edit sketch. Double click. Now let's offset a line from this. This is just gonna put a hole in it. Let's do 5 millimeters, enter. Same thing on the other side. Double click, O for offset. Let's do -5, enter. Alright, so now you have a bunch of extra lines that you don't need. Just hit T for trim, clip it all up. You don't need this. We don't need this. Don't need this. We really don't need the bottom of this V. We don't need that. We don't need that. Alright, so now we can hit escape. And now this is going to be our new stand. Finish sketch. So now we can either do this and cut it all the way through, or the proper way to do this would just come back down here to the timeline, right click, and then edit feature. And now we don't want to include two triangles, so just click on them and it will exclude them. Okay, now you have a little bit cooler stand and it's not so basic looking. Alright, so now on to the wobbly line stand. Right click, edit sketch. So generally speaking, if you needed a stand for this, you're only going to want it to stand up flush to the whatever it's sitting on. So we're going to go L for line, find the bottom of your model. Then we're going to click the bottom, drag it across until it is 0 degrees or 180 degrees. If you want to do it an easy way, you can just hit tab 180 and now it stays flat all the way across. Just click over here off to the side, escape. So you can see either this is where you're going to want to put the stand or right here, but the center of gravity is going to be leaning over this direction. So in this case, the stand, you're going to want it somewhere around here. So now we can double click the outside, O for offset, we'll pull it 5 millimeters again, enter. Okay, so this line we should have put on the bottom right here. We rushed that a little bit. Let me delete this line. Okay, now hit L for line. We'll find the bottom about right here, click. Same thing. Tab 180, drag it across. escape. So now we can draw. You can make this however you want, just get creative with it. So you can either do just a basic line and be done with it, but you'd still need to kill the edges. Right here. You can do that if you just want a little boring stand just to hold it, no big deal. That's fine. Or if you want to get fancy with it, let's delete these lines. Since this is kind of a wobbly logo or shape, you can do fit point spline and make you a stand that's custom to the model. So let's just find 50 millimeters. Let's see where 50 millimeters is. So we'll find the bottom, come straight down, click. Now we can delete this line. Delete L line. Let's do 50 millimeters. L 50 millimeters. Enter. That stand may be a little bit large. Let's go 30 millimeters instead. 30. Enter. Okay. Now we can go fit point spline. Now we can make it kind of match the theme of the model. Just give it some squigglies. Enter. Do the same thing for the other side. We'll go here, 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 enter. Okay. So now we can do finish sketch. Now you can use this and you'll have a better themed stand. So click, hold shift, or click, hold shift and click. E for extrude. You're going to want to drag it out. -40. See, this is saying join. We did not make the outer perimeter buffer. Come back to the sketch. Double click the perimeter. O for offset. Double click the perimeter. O for offset. 0.1. Enter. Finish sketch. Now we just do the same thing. Click, hold shift, click, click. Drag it out. Extrude. -40. New body. Okay. Don't need that sketch anymore. So now you have a stand for your odd shaped logo or whatever it is. And there you have 3 stands. And that's about it. If you need any more help with stands, let me know. That should be about cover everything that you're going to need. Just remember to find the center of gravity. If you put a stand right here in the center of this, it's likely to tip over. So just kind of use your common sense on where you're going to need to balance everything. This one, depending on where it's at, if you're going to be on a shelf that's shaking a lot, you may need to make this bigger, taller, wider, whatever the case may be. And that should be about it.